Hi there, welcome to the final program in our history video learning series for this year. Today we will be discussing the United Nations. The special agencies of the United Nations. We'll talk about the different special agencies of the United Nations and highlight the main functions of each one. I know you will enjoy the program and the learning experience. It is a long story but very interesting. Thanks for watching. Do you know what the United Nations is? Well, the United Nations is a big machine and the system is well developed. It is an intergovernmental organization established in 1945 to promote international cooperation. Yes, something like a one world government. It was established after the Second World War to prevent another worldwide conflict. 51 member states were part of it when it was founded, and now there are 193 members. The UN headquarters are in New York City, with further main offices in Geneva, Nairobi, and Vienna. The United Nations gets its money from 193 member states. Its objectives are to maintain international peace and security, promote human rights, foster social and economic development, protect the environment, provide humanitarian aid in cases of famine, natural disasters, and armed conflict. The UN's presence in Namibia in overseeing the independence process in 1989 was one of its major military and peacekeeping missions. All right, let's continue. The UN has 6 primary organs. They are the General Assembly at the top of the organization, the Security Council for deciding resolutions for peace and security, the Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, for promoting international economic and social cooperation and development, the Secretariat for providing information and facilities needed by the UN, the International Court of Justice, which is the primary judicial organ, the United Nations Trusteeship Council, which has been inactive since 1994. These are the main organs in the management of the UN system. The 5 UN system agencies include the following: the World Bank, the World Health Organization, the World Food Programme, UNESCO, and UNICEF. And then there are secondary organization funds and programs and specialized agencies. Okay, finally we get to it. What are these specialized agencies? They are self-sufficient or independent organizations that work with the United Nations and with one another. And they are coordinated through the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. These specialized agencies may or may not have been originally created by the United Nations, but they are incorporated into the UN system by ECOSOC, acting under the United Nations Charter. Sorry for all these big expressions, but those are what these councils, systems, and organizations are called. It gets better from here on. The UN has in total 15 specialized agencies that carry out various functions on behalf of the UN. The United Nations specialized agencies usually work away from the public eye. The 4 main agencies are the International Labour Organization, ILO, UNESCO, the World Health Organization, WHO, the International Atomic Energy Authority, IAEA. Let's see what they do. The International Labour Organization, abbreviated ILO, deals with labor issues throughout the world. It gives guidelines for governments about what international labor standards should be. Its headquarters are in Geneva, Switzerland, from where it writes policies and programs to improve working conditions and employment opportunities. The ILO has the task of ensuring that all people are entitled to equal opportunities and economic security. 151 nations have already agreed to implement these reforms, which range from maximum hours that may be worked to trade union rights. the ILO produced a wide-ranging program of labor reforms and working practices for which it won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1969. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO is the fun part of the UN. With its headquarters in Paris, UNESCO's work is based on the belief that the best way of preventing war is to educate people in the pursuit of peace. So, UNESCO encourages the spread of universal education, stressing that education is a human right. This UN body has the task of ensuring that education and the sharing of knowledge will lead to universal respect among all people. UNESCO also promotes cultural development, protection of the world's natural and cultural heritage, freedom of the press and communication. It encourages international cooperation among artists, scientists, and scholars in all fields. UNESCO runs programs in member states in education, science, and the arts. The World Health Organization acts as a coordinating authority on international public health. The WHO deals with health, public hygiene, and disease control, and it sends medical teams to help combat epidemics worldwide. It works in areas such as immunization, health education, and the provision of essential drugs. With headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, the WHO started a worldwide campaign in 1967 to eradicate smallpox through the use of mass vaccinations. By 1984, the smallpox virus was declared extinct. This was a major achievement for the WHO. The World Health Organization strives to eradicate all diseases and to ensure that all people enjoy the highest possible standards of health. The International Atomic Energy Authority works for the safe and peaceful use of atomic energy. It guides countries to have better nuclear safety and to prepare for and respond to major emergencies, such as Japan's recent Fukushima disaster at its 4 nuclear reactors following the 2011 tsunami there. At the moment, the IAEA is also working with Iran to try and persuade them not to build nuclear war facilities. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations leads international efforts to defeat hunger and to raise levels of nutrition and standards of living. The FAO is the largest of the UN agencies and has its headquarters in Rome, Italy. This is the United Nations agency that runs programs, especially in underdeveloped countries, for improving farming methods and increasing food production. Serving both developed and developing countries, the FAO acts as a neutral forum where all nations meet as equals to negotiate agreements and to debate policies on food production. The FAO's mandate is to raise levels of nutrition, improve agricultural productivity, improve the lives of rural populations, and contribute to the growth of the world's economy. A very prominent aspect of the UN system is the financial system, the World Bank Group at the IMF. The World Bank Group comprises a group of 5 legally separate but affiliated banking institutions. It offers loans, advice, and technical assistance to more than 100 developing countries and countries in transition. The International Bank and Specialized Agency of the United Nations was established in 1944 to help member nations by guaranteeing loans so that they can reconstruct and develop, especially after decolonization and independence. The World Bank helps developing countries to reduce poverty and advance sustainable economic growth, as long as these countries remember that there are no free lunches, as the bank always links its financial aid to conditions of democratic government, human rights, etc. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, promotes international economic cooperation and financial stability and provides a permanent forum for discussion, advice, and assistance on financial issues. The IMF is seated in Washington, D.C., in the United States of America. Finally, to decide disputes arising between nations, there is the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the main legal agency of the United Nations, and it has existed since 1945. The court is based in the Peace Palace in The Hague, Netherlands. The main functions are to settle legal disputes submitted to it by states. It also provides recommended opinions on legal questions submitted to it by international organs in the UN General Assembly. Viewers, as we mentioned before, the United Nations organization is huge. They are also the International Civil Aviation Organization for Air Movement Control, the International Maritime Organization for Sea Control, and the International Telecommunication Union and Universal Postal Union, linking all telecommunication services around the globe. The World Meteorological Organization observes the weather and climate worldwide, and the World Tourism Organization serves as a forum for tourism policies and information. But I suspect that your head may be spinning with information right now, so we'll close with the specialized agencies we have discussed so far. Well, viewers, some people like the UN, some hate it. Some say the organization is an important force for peace and human development, but others have called the organization ineffective, corrupt, and biased. It is still noteworthy to add that the UN organization won the 2001 Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of its peacekeeping efforts worldwide, and that's quite something. Let's see what we have learned in today's lesson. The United Nations special agencies are self-sufficient, independent organizations working with the United Nations and with one another. They are coordinated through the UN Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. The World Bank and IMF help developing countries to reduce poverty and advance sustainable economic growth. The International Court of Justice decides disputes arising between nations. The World Health Organization deals with health, public hygiene, and disease control, and helps to combat epidemics worldwide. The International Labour Organization, ILO, gives guidelines for governments about international labor standards. The Food and Agriculture Organization leads international efforts to defeat hunger and to raise levels of nutrition and living standards. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, encourages international cooperation among artists, scientists, and scholars in all fields. And the International Atomic Energy Agency guides countries to have better nuclear safety and to prepare for and respond to major emergencies. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning with us. Before we go, here is our final history SMS competition question. Please SMS us at 5003 and mention the keyword phrase for this lesson, which is United Nations. Then leave a space and type A, B, or C for the answer you choose as correct. Each SMS costs 3 Namibian dollars. Ready? Here is the question. Tell us which statement from these 3 options you think is correct. The United Nations specialized agencies, A, are about 44 in total. B, work with the UN and with one another. Or C, tell the UN General Assembly what to do. The winner will be announced within 3 days, and if it is you, we will contact you to come and collect your prize at a NAMCOL center near where you live. Thanks again for watching. We wish you great success in your studies and happy learning for the exams. Goodbye.